Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for attending. This is Seth Stevens from Quick Fast Theory. I've got my friend here, Henson from FeedbackWhiz. He is going to be walking you through some amazing tips on how to write better emails, get more reviews, give you the best practices.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just kind of just start off with product reviews on Amazon in general. Here we just have like a listing from Amazon, a Kindle, right? And as a shopper, how do you make a decision on how to purchase the product? Obviously the first thing you look at is how many stars they have and then how many reviews they have. So like something like this is like, oh man, it's an instant buy, right? You have this many reviews with a 4.5 star rating. It's pretty much like, I don't even need to do anything. I just, add to cart and buy it. But most sellers don't have these kind of reviews and this kind of rating. Now, as a shopper these days, I don't know how you guys shop, but how I usually shop is I'll take a look at the product, the picture looks good, and then I'll come down here and then I'll start reading the reviews, right? And then of course the top reviews are nice. They have some good information, but sometimes you notice that dates are, old, or maybe like the person might be, influencer. So it's kind of hard to gauge like what's credible or not, right? So usually what you look at is the distribution chart here, like the 5 star to 1 star. And if you see a whole bunch of 1 stars or 2 stars, 3 stars, it kind of like, it probably means the product's not that great, right? And then um, what I usually do is I come look at the 1 star reviews and kind of read through these comments, or just to review in general to see what's wrong with this product or what kind of people are buying it. And then there's also this comment section here where like people can comment, and most of the time you could see if the actual manufacturer comes and comments. So this is actually really important because as a seller, anytime you get a negative review, you really want to come in here and respond to the negative review. So you want to take some time, read it, and then see what the customer is having an issue with, and then log in as your manufacturer or your seller account, and leave a comment, basically letting them know that, hey, please reach out to our customer support. We can help you resolve the issue. So when I see comments like this, especially when the manufacturer responds, it gives me a lot of confidence to buy this product, especially if I'm looking at 5 different products with the same amount of reviews and same star ratings. It can really distinguish your product over someone else's. So that's a really good tip for sellers to come in and manage this. And so yeah, I'll give you a little background. I'm co-founder, CEO of FeedbackWhiz, and what we do here is try to help Amazon sellers get more reviews. Set up automated email sequences to prevent negative reviews. We can help you grab all your product reviews, so anytime product review comes in, you get notification right away, and then you can go and respond to these reviews. So a lot of people ask, how do I send out emails, and what kind of emails do I send out? How do I craft my emails? So this is kind of our dashboard. When you log into software, you can see a bunch of analytics. So I'll just jump in real quick on making emails. So, we have these pre-built templates here, which have like, just some generic just comments and text where you can base your emails on. Of course, we really recommend that sellers understand the product they're selling, who their audience is, right? If you're selling baby products, your audience is probably going to be, young mothers, right? So you want to try to craft your email with the messaging cater towards them, right? You want to build that connection. A lot of sellers just send these generic emails out with, pretty much no information and a bunch of text. Especially Seller Central too. It's like a text-based messaging system where you can't really put in things like pictures or product images, links. So the best result is really when you get an emails, you want to put in pictures, you want to put in these, leave review links, picture image of your product. You want to display the right message to your audience. And so what our tool can help you do, let me try to come up with a show you like a template. So for example, like there's different strategies, right? Like, you know, most companies, you know, they want a professional, clean looking template, you know, send out very simple. When they get it, customer sees the brand name, they see the product image, so they know exactly what they're buying. They might not necessarily have to read the whole thing. You could leave a short message, and for example, this template would be for like when your product ships, right? So you're kind of, I know Amazon sends out the email right away when you order a product, but it's also good for you to send out an email as well. And what you want to include in this email is, you know, a tracking link as well, and a way for them to contact you, and a message that says like, hey, if there's anything wrong when you receive the shipment, you know, please contact us, and you know, we'll make it right for you, right? And at the same time, you know, some of the more advanced sellers, what they do is they'll spend some money and time and create their own PDF file with, you know, where you can attach to this email. And what this PDF file includes is, you know, really information for your audience, like, for example, like how to use this product, right? Or 5 tips on, you know, how to keep this product, you know, lasting longer. If you're, for example, if you're selling like a frying pan, maybe you can include like a free, you know, cookbook or something, right? So this first email is really to give your customer something like for free, right? It's not, it's just to like, it's not just to like ask, you never want to ask them for a review or feedback right away, because they never got your product. There's no reason to do that. It's to give them something for free, and at the same time you can kind of show off your brand name, right? So it's brand awareness. So we always recommend send out the first email when the email from the order gets shipped, and then after that, you know, you can send out another email when it gets delivered. So you guys might be asking me like, oh, how do you create these buttons here? And what are these tracking links and contact seller links, and how do you actually put these in here? So for our email templates, what we use is this thing called variables. And what variables do is it can plug in the data from the order. So you can use one template for, you know, all your products. Or let's say let's say you're a seller and you have 3 different brands within one account, then you can create one template for each of those brands. So what you're doing is plugging in, let's say their first name, or let's say you want to display their shipping address, or you know, you want to put in a link for asking them to leave a review. So we have all these different types of links that you can put into your template. So generically, I'm not sure some of you guys using other software, you might just use one of these regular you know, links that just says contact seller, right? Now this contact seller link is, you click on it, you know, it contacts them, but the problem with this link is that it's not very visible, right? Sometimes when you read through an email, they might not know where to click on it, right? And then sometimes people just paste the entire link of the URL of the review link, which also looks really ugly. So what we've done here is we can embed this link inside, where, you know, not only can you change the text and say, you know, contact us or something, so something like this, you can also create your own images and plug it in as the link itself. So the way you actually create these links is we use another website. It's totally free. It's called the Button Factory. You can just come here and you can create your own buttons. And let's say you wanted to create a contact us button here, right? It's very simple. You just type it in. You can style it. Let's say you want to make it look like, you know, an Amazon button. So maybe you can use the orange color, right? And maybe add a little bit of effects, whatever. And all you have to do here is just copy the image and then come back in here. And then within the link, all you do is replace the text part and then just paste it in here. And now you got yourself a contact button link, which is, you know, takes you 30 seconds to make. You don't even need to know any HTML. Very simple to build. Of course, for the more advanced, you know, software guys out there, web developers, we do have like HTML in here too as well. So you can edit the code if you like. So things like this is very simple to.
That's a pretty cool trick. You said it's DA, like buttonfactory.com. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Can you guys see this link, thebuttonfactory.com?
Yeah, I'll send that in a message to everyone. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. And So it's not just, you know, these kind of pictures you can put in. You can put in any type of picture. So let me show you an example where, like, instead of creating a button type of email, some of the actual, we have a lot of analytics on our side, and some of the best email templates are the ones where it has a lot of funny stuff in here where you're not using text, you're using pictures or animated GIFs to help you know, get that connection with the audience. So for example, here, like, you know, this is a template where we set up for, like, if you got a negative product review, and let's say you know who that person is, and you want to contact them, this is something where, like, you can send this to them, where it's like you're using like these GIFs where, you know, you're breaking up the text and the pictures, and that way when they open the email, they're actually going to read this entire email, right? They because these pictures are, they're engaging, right? They're funny. It delivers a message, and at the end of the email, if your audience decides, hey, this is really cool, this is really funny, or, you know, I'm gonna leave them a review, or I'm gonna respond and say, hey, you know, I'm sorry, I'm gonna remove the review, or whatever it is, right? So your goal is to figure out who your audience is, and then try to craft an email template addressing those kind of people. So that's one example. I'm trying to see if I have another one in here set up. Let's say I had like, let's see if this one has. Yeah, so this is like, you can, so how do you get these images? It's very simple. There's another site called Giffy, which I think a lot of people know. So you can very easily, same method, just come here, Giffy.com, type in some keywords like thank you, and then, you know, just click into the picture, same concept, copy image, come back in here, and whatever you want to do, just paste it in, right? It's in there. You want to resize it, you can just drag the bottom, resize it, and you're done. You know, very simple. You can make these emails in a few minutes. Most of the time is more like planning on what kind of content you want to put in here. So these are the type of emails you want to try to build for your audience, and these are really ways you can get more product reviews rather than just sending out these generic, you know, bunch of text and say, hey, please leave me a product review. Most people open it, they won't read it. Also be aware there are TOS rules from Amazon. A lot of sellers sometimes don't know what kind of content they can and can't put in there, so I highly suggest you guys to read these rules on, you know, what kind of communication you can. Like, for example, like, you can't put in your email address or your website or any external links, but you can absolutely ask him for reviews, and you don't ever want them to ask for a positive product review. It can't be incentivized. The best way to ask for a product review is just ask them to leave a product review, or say, can you please leave us an unbiased product review. Amazon, their email system is actually pretty sophisticated. They do all the emails that you send out through any third-party platform like FeedbackWhiz, it does have to go through Amazon first. So their system actually checks the emails, they'll check the links. If they see your email address in there, they're actually just gonna strip it out. And if they see that you're trying to, like, you know, bait them with a product review, saying like, hey, were you happy or sad with this experience? And if the sad button is take them to the contact link and the happy one is a 5-star link, their system will pick it up, and they have been sending out these warning messages to a lot of sellers telling them that, you know, there's a violation. So although our platform allows you to do anything you want, you still need to educate yourself to understand that there's rules within Amazon of what you can and can't send.
Hey, Henson, just real quick here. Some of this stuff is stuff I've never thought about, like the GIF files and things like that. So do you have, since you have so much data from your customers asking for reviews and things like that, do you have like maybe an example, or just give an idea of what would like the perfect for you sequence be that converts the best in terms of getting a customer to give you a review?
Sure, yeah. So the most important thing when sending out emails is actually the subject line, because the subject line is the first thing that your customer sees, right? Before they even open your email. So if you have a poor subject line, chances are they're just gonna skip through it and not even open the email. So people always ask, oh, what's the best subject line, or what kind of subject lines get the highest open rates? We have a lot of analytics here. You know, our platform can track your open rates. We can even see individual open rates. So we have a lot of data on what subject lines work and don't work. Now, the first email that you send out, the order shipment email, that one has really good open rate. The reason for that is because you're actually letting the customer know that your order is being shipped, and maybe you're including something in there. So they like to open in and read about it, right? So that's like just by nature, like human nature, people like opening those kind of emails. But the product review email is the tricky one, because now even the subject line, if you write like, hey, you know, by your first name, can you please leave us a review, right? Most of the times people are just lazy in general, right? Like I don't know about the audience here today, like how often do you guys actually leave reviews? Like very few, right? And it's just like, it just takes your time, and people just don't want to do it. So your subject line can't be too direct for the product review email. Like you don't want to be like, hi, customer first name, can you please leave us a review for your order? Those subject lines always get really low open rates, and we're talking about like less than 20%, right? In general, you want to have open rates like 30% or above, and this is like including the opt-outs. So people that are not familiar with opt-outs, Amazon allows buyers to opt out of email communications altogether. So there's going to be about 20% of your emails that you send out are just going to bounce, meaning that the customer is not even going to see them. And a lot of people freak out and be like, oh, you know, like, you know, why should I even use email automation if like 20% of people aren't even going to see the emails? Well, the thing is, those 20% are probably not even going to leave you a review in the first place, because they just don't want to deal with emails, right? But you still have the other 80%, and the other 80% is what you should be focusing on. So for product review emails, the best subject line that we usually test that has consistently high open rates of like 40 to 60% is the subject line right here, is actually regarding your Amazon order ID number. And what this order ID here is, what I mentioned earlier, is the variable, right? So this will automatically plug in the order ID of that customer of what they ordered. So they'll get this email in their email inbox, and it looks like something important that you might want to open, right? Because it lets them know it's something about your order from Amazon, but it doesn't tell you anything more than that. So just out of curiosity for most people, they're going to open this email. So the email, the subject line is extremely important, and we recommend, if you're trying to get reviews, use a subject line similar to this, right? Something obscure, not too direct. And then once they open the email, this is where you got 3 seconds, right? People have 3 seconds to respond to your email. They look at your email, they see something funny, or they see something nice, right? They're gonna spend a little bit more time and read through the entire email. But if you just send them a bunch of text, you know, you might not get that conversion. So these are actually the two most important things: is first your subject line, and then second of all your content, right? And then third of all is the timing on when you send this email out. So to answer your question, Seth, once you create the emails, we'll go to our campaign manager here, and the campaign manager is where you can set up the timing sequences of these emails. So for example, most sellers, the very experienced ones, they'll send out 2 or 3 emails. So the first email is when the order gets shipped, and you can set this to send out like, you know, either the same day the order gets shipped or 1 day after. We usually recommend 1 day after, because you can choose the time on when to send it out. If you do it immediately, a lot of times the orders come in at night, right? You don't want to send out emails at night because people are sleeping and they might not read it, right? So the best time to send out emails is actually you know, somewhere between 8 and 9 a.m. Pacific time. And the reason for this is because this covers both the East and West Coast, right? And most people either read emails during the day or they read emails after work. So you have a choice if you're either doing it in the morning or doing it more like 5 or 6 p.m. You know, East Pacific time. So not too early, not too late. But these are, you know, based on our data, these are the best times where people open emails. So you want to send it somewhere around that time. And in terms of asking for product reviews, this is the timing on when you send out the email is actually extremely important as well, because you have to understand the product you're selling, because everyone has a different product where it might take a different time to evaluate, right? So for example, if I'm asking for a feedback review, in this campaign, we're waiting 6 days until the order has been delivered. And the reason why you want to have a time frame is because if you ask for the review too early, there's a chance that they might have not even opened your product, or they might not have time to evaluate the product, right? So if you're selling, let's say, a cell phone charger, that's something I could just take out of the box, plug it in. Hey, it works on my phone, right? But maybe I want to wait like 3 or 4 days to make sure it's reliable, right? Make sure, especially with those quick charge adapters. I don't know if you guys noticed that sometimes I buy those cables and after a week, it doesn't quick charge anymore. I have no idea why, right? So the timing of when you send out this email is pretty critical, and it really depends on the product you sell. Let's say you're selling a fat burning supplement. You don't want to send them an email asking for a review after 3 days. There's no way anyone's going to leave you a review, because it takes a week, it takes at least like 3 weeks to like 6 weeks, a month for someone to use it and then see if there's any results or not, right? So the timing of when you send out the review request email is really depending on what kind of product you're selling, and it's pretty crucial. This will also help your conversions as well. A lot of people send it out at the wrong time, and then people open the email, read it, but they're like, I can't review it, right? Because I haven't had time to evaluate. So we recommend figure out when the best time to send out the email based on your product, and then you can send out a secondary email. So a lot of people send out 3 emails. So first email is order ships, second email is the review request, and then third email is also review request. But then in this case, you might want to wait a little bit longer. So let's say if the first one is sent out like 6 days, then maybe the second one you can send out 10 days or 14 days later, right? Give it a little bit more space in case maybe the first one you sent too early, but the second one you send out is really like the final reminder. And after that, we don't recommend sending out any more emails. Sometimes when you send out too many emails, it can also be have a negative impact. People might get annoyed too, so that's definitely very important. Another strategy that I recommend that you could use with FeedbackWhiz is a lot of the buyers get confused between seller feedback and actual product reviews. And what they end up doing is they end up leaving seller feedback thinking that they left a product review. I'm sure a lot of people get seller feedback with 1 star that says this product sucks or something, or they put 5 stars saying this is an awesome product, right? But that's actually that review is actually put in the wrong location. So with FeedbackWhiz, what you could actually do is you can actually target orders that left you, let's say someone left you a 5-star feedback. So what our system will do is in this campaign, it's going to find all the 5-star feedback orders, and you can send out a dedicated email to them. So you can be like, hey, I want to send out this positive feedback to review, and I could show, and then you can set it up to send out immediately, right? So as soon as they leave you that positive feedback, they'll get an email saying, hey, thanks for, I think I actually have this email set up so I can show you what I usually use to get positive feedback to review. So, you can send out something like this where, it has your logo, it has the item they're buying, and you can say, thank you for the awesome seller feedback you left for us. And, it can help do us a favor and leave us a product review. Just let them know, make it easy for them, right? And then they'll know exactly where to click, right? They can just click on this link here, and then it takes them directly there. So it's a short and simple message, and you can get even more review conversions through your feedback that people left you mistakenly thinking that they left you a product review. So that's actually also a really good tip.
Hey, Henson, so basically you're saying that you would at least set up 4 messages through the Amazon messaging platform, and everybody who's concerned about everyone opting out and kind of quitting on this strategy shouldn't quit, because 80% of the people are still getting the messages. Is that right?
That is correct, yes. And some people actually set up additional sequences. So I won't really get into too much details because it's more we could people that might have questions, they could just email us about it. But so for our campaigns, we have different types of targeting. So you can actually set up campaigns for, let's say, your repeat buyers only, right? People who bought products more than once, right? Maybe you want to send them a special message, or if you get a refunded order, right? We actually just pushed out this new refund integration where we can see your refunds as soon as it happens. There's no more delay, right? So if someone initiates a refund, you can actually send them a message that says, hey, sorry, sorry we didn't meet your expectations. If there's anything we can do for you, it's actually a good way to reach out to them so they don't leave you a negative review or negative
Wow,
feedback.
that's a fantastic feature. We just talked about last month this exact strategy of setting your notification so it tells you when a review or a refund has been initiated so you can get ahead of it. And this
Yeah.
was perfect in automating that, because this strategy works so well in our business. We just didn't have a way to automate this. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, so we have this new thing we just pushed out called Seller Central Notifications. Basically, what you're doing is you're adding us onto your notifications, because in Seller Central, you can actually add multiple emails to get these refund and opt-out emails. So we can see your opt-outs as soon as it happens. So our system will actually come in here. I actually didn't even show you our orders page, but our orders page here has all the data for your order. We integrate everything in here. So if this order is a refund, it's a return, you send an email, everything is integrated back in. You can see it very clearly. So if the person opted out, our system will block it out, right? If you have a campaign running, it's not going to send them an email because we already detected right away that this is an opted out user. You can see like your repeat buyers too. You click here, you can see exactly all the orders they purchased. Like it lets you seller feedback. You can read it. You can see all the emails you send out, and even see the individual open rates. But yeah, it's a very powerful platform. You guys can sign up and check it out. But I don't want to really go into this. I just want to talk more about like strategies to help you guys out. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have any general questions about email sequences or strategies or
Yeah, we're getting some questions here, Henson, but I do have a question. So in your email that you're asking for the review, you mentioned the GIF or a photo or something like that. What would you suggest would be the best way to ask for a review? Do you have any specific GIFs that are working really well, or what do you suggest on the email that you're actually asking for the review?
I personally like sending out funny GIFs, just because it's like humor, right? And people like seeing funny things. So I'm trying to see if I even have one. Hold on, let me see if I have one even set up in this demo account here or not. I mean, this like something like this. Let me see. This is probably not. Yeah, this is just generic one, but something like like something like this is funny, right? Like you can just go in here and type in keywords into GIF, right? Thank you, right? It depends on your audience, right? Let's say your audience is like moms or something, right? Maybe you can find like or you're selling like pet products, right? Maybe you can find a picture of a dog, right? And just cater around animals, right? A lot of people are soft and they like animals, right? Or maybe it's a toy, right? Or something related to Disney, or maybe your audience likes Brad Pitt. I don't know, right? So you can just go through here, spend a little bit of time, and think about like if you're a buyer, put yourself in their shoes, and if you open this email, what would you think, right? Do you think if it's inappropriate, right? Of course, like there's a lot of inappropriate gifts in here you probably don't want to put in there. But if it's something cute or funny, your goal is really to grab their attention, right? You don't have that much time from when they open the email to when they close it, right? These days everyone works fast, right? It's like people don't have attention spans, right? You have to like hit them hard with something attractive or funny, and make sure they engage, right? So that's why I was saying, like, in these emails, what you wanted to do is you want to break up the text and the pictures, right? You can use the pictures to express the text, right, to the message.
Yeah.
But you don't want to just do all pictures either, because then it's like it's kind of fun, it's kind of weird too, right? So you kind of want to do a combination of both. And yeah, it's just really it's just being creative, right? And in general, we see that clients that use animated GIFs or emojis or any type of pictures have a much higher conversion rate overall, just because it works.
Yeah,
So
that's really great feedback there, Henson. So we have a question here. It says, can the feedback recovery email be set to only go out with 4 or 5 level reviews, not 1 to 3 stars?
are we talking about seller feedback or product reviews? So yeah, for seller feedback, absolutely. So if you go into our campaigns here, you can see we have different statuses, right? So you can do 1 or 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 4 or 5, or 5 stars only. So you can actually pick these. Now, if you're talking about targeting reviews, unfortunately, we can't do that anymore. I don't know if any of you guys used FeedbackWhiz in the past, but about 4 or 5 months ago, we actually have we haven't showed you this yet. We have a product review manager as well that grabs all your reviews from Amazon, so you can actually read all of them all at once in one screen. Before, we actually had this automated completely, where any review that comes in, it'll link it directly to the order that it came from. We have a way to link the buyer profile ID directly to the orders, but Amazon recently, removed that feature, and they pretty much notified all developers saying that, hey, you guys can't offer any type of linking feature or tracking to identify the reviewer anymore. That's why we don't even have the pen name in here anymore. It's unfortunate, but they're kind of trying to protect the buyers, since Amazon's best interest is really their buyers, right? That's their most important asset. You guys probably all know Amazon doesn't really care too much about sellers. They probably don't care too much about developers as well, because we can all be replaced. So they have to protect the buyers. They don't want sellers trying to contact the buyers to leave reviews. That's why this TOS thing has really, they have really ramped up the TOS recently. So just gotta be a little careful. Of course, there's still ways around it. So like if you go to read a review, the pen name is still there, right? So most of the time, these people will leave like their real name, right? About 40% of the time is real name. The other 60% of the time, it could be like a mask name, like Amazon customer. If it's Amazon customer, there's no way you're gonna figure out who they are anymore, unless you pay for some black hat software, which we're not associated with. We can't do anything like that. But if they use, and let's say, I don't know if I could actually find a review in here with the real name, like Barbara Reynolds, right? You can actually copy this person's name in here, and then you can go back into our orders page. So our orders page here has all the data of all your orders. It has everyone's name, where they're from. Like you can actually see all the status, like tracking number, their address, all this good stuff. So you can actually come in here and do a name search. So you could do buyer or shipping recipient name, come in here, paste in their name, and people can leave reviews anytime, right? So by default, we have 365 days your order, so you probably want to filter through the last year. And then you can even do by ASIN as well. You probably don't need to, unless you have a whole bunch of people named Barbara Reynolds, and then you want to try to filter it down a little bit more, you can. But if you do a search and you find that name, let's just say this is Barbara Reynolds, then you can come in here, click on this order, and then you can actually send them an email directly through here too, and then pick one of the templates. And what this template does is now it knows the name of the order. It has the the variables for the product, and you could just not automate this, but it's very simple for you to send out this email, and then you just press send and send it out, and boom, now the person that left you that 1-star review gets a message from you, and hopefully they're gonna respond. And now you just increased your chance of getting that review removed or revised. So.
Wow, that's really cool. Henson. I like how you can manage like this entire process through
Yeah.
FeedbackWhiz. Like you have templates that you've been able to save, so you don't have to retype everything. So that's really cool. Guys that are on the call with us, if you have any questions about like how you are allowed to send emails, what you should say in emails, he's already talked about the subject line a little bit. But if you have any other questions, he's got tons of data because he helps thousands and thousands of customers. So now's your time to ask away. But in the meantime, Henson, while they're typing in the questions box, if you don't mind, can you go through just some of the features that makes FeedbackWhiz kind of different in the marketplace? Because some of the stuff you've shared about like the fighting the negative reviews before they even happen on the return basis, that's really cool. So what else does FeedbackWhiz do that others might have missed?
Yeah, so I think most platforms probably don't have this kind of order management system where they actually try to integrate all the data together. So this is actually a pretty powerful way. Like, a lot of people say like, oh, I'm sending out a bunch of emails and I don't know like which orders are my emails going to or how many emails I sent, but you can see here we have these queues, right? So like this order, for example, there's a campaign running. So it tells you, hey, there's an email that's going to go out with this campaign and this date, right? So you have full vision on all the emails you are sending and going to send out, right? You can add yourself notes to, internal notes to, write anything about the order. So for example, let's say you just email that person that with the negative review, like you can come in here and paste in that link to the review and say, hey, this is the review of, from this order, right? And you can go back and now you can see like either promotion discounts, like, these orders had, someone purchased for $2 or whatever. We have tracking numbers in here as well. If this is a dummy account, this is actually data is actually all fake, but in the real accounts you can see their tracking information, and then if they refunded the product, let me take a look to see if we have the refund. Any refund? Yeah, we don't have because we don't have any refund statuses in here, but yeah, you can filter and find pretty much anything about any of your orders in the past, and then and from there, we have these reports as well where you can download all this data. So for example, like if you want to run a ad campaign on Facebook, a lot of people try to retarget their customers with when you launch a new product, you can run an ad, and someone that bought your cell phone charger in the past, you can upload this buyer data into Facebook, and Facebook will try to find the same person, and it's going to show up on their feed, right? So it's a good way to boost up your sales for new products. So all this data can be downloaded into CSV file for our platform. In terms of like running campaigns, like we have a lot of statistics in here too. So like you can see like all your emails sent, open rates, like how many people open your emails. We have graphs like this. You can A/B test your subject lines. So let's say like how I was telling you guys earlier, like the best subject lines to use. You guys can actually explore this, right? So you can come in here and split up your campaigns, up to 5 different splits. You can split up 2020, 2020, and try different subject lines, right? And then you can try different. You can even select different templates if you want to. And then you can come in here and run it, and let's say like you want to see like after a week or month which subject line actually has the highest open rate. Like that subject line I told you, like if you guys don't believe it, try it out, right? And then call me out if I'm lying if with your subject line, say, hey, I have a better subject line, right? Then you can compare. It's all here, and the point is really to get the highest conversion possible. So because emails are, you only get one chance, right, to send out email to a customer. Once the customer comes in, you don't have that much opportunity to get them to leave your review. So you want to maximize the opportunity with, whatever data or advantage you have. So we pretty much provide all these tools for you to manage this. And like the product review manager, for example, too, I'm not sure how many platforms actually can grab your product reviews for you. We actually do it 6 times a day. So this data is actually pretty pretty live. You get an email as soon as you get a product review, you'll get a notification email in your email box. It'll take you a link directly to this page, and it'll take you a link directly to the Amazon review page, so you can quickly respond to these reviews. Anytime you get a negative review, you have to respond to them. You can filter these reviews. You can read, let's say you want to read only your bad reviews, right? This is a good way, reading reviews on Amazon is a pain, right? Like I have to go through these pages here and then sort it. It's not very friendly, especially if you have different variations, right? Like it's not very friendly, but in our platform here, it's very easy to sort it, right? You can either sort it by time. You have a few products, but let's say you have like hundreds of products. Now you can come in here and say, oh, I only want to read the reviews for this product, and sort it by 1 star, 2 to 3 stars. You can quickly read all of them, and you can even like search by keyword too. So you can identify like, like all the products that have the word broken or crap or sucks or whatever, bad words people use. And then you can figure out, what's wrong with my product? What do I need to improve, right? Because customer reviews is actually the best thing, sellers can get to get feedback about their product, right? Because the whole point is you want to sell a good product on Amazon, and you want to know how to improve your product so your products are better than competitors. And bringing that point, you can even monitor your competitors' products. So for example, like let's say you're launching a new product that you have 2 or 3 different competitors, and you kind of want to see like, what kind of reviews you're getting and how often you're getting reviews. You can come in here and import those ASINs in here directly. And then now our platform will start pulling their data, and then you can see, the kind of reviews and feedback that they're getting without having to manually go through each page one by one. So it's definitely helpful.
Yeah, Henson, we have a couple questions here. That's really great. Somebody who signed in as OG says being able to split test is super powerful. So that's really awesome. And then also a question is, did you say that you have found that subject lines with order ID or product name are best to get emails opened?
So subject lines, yeah, you want to put the order ID, but the best thing is don't put anything too direct. For the shipment email, it's fine. You could be like, hey, buyer first name, your item has shipped. Here's a free gift inside, right? And the free gift could be that PDF attachment I talked about. And that's probably going to get you a really high open rate, because everyone that sees free gift, they're going to love it, right? You're going to open that email, right? And, it depends on how well your free gift is. I don't know, but either way, the email will be open. But for product reviews, you can't be like, oh, leave us a review and you're going to get a 50% coupon. Or that's one thing with Amazon is you can't use the emails for marketing purposes. So you can't send an email saying, here's a coupon code for your next order, right? You can't do that. So most people know that, and then they end up putting a subject line that says, here's your Amazon order ID, please leave me a product review. Really what it is you want to make that subject line more obscure, like don't really tell too much about what it's regarding, but it has to tell it's about their Amazon order. Just don't give too much details. Just make it sound important. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Yeah, so all right, Henson. Well, if you don't mind, go through anything else that you have to talk about your software, and then also I know that you and I talked about maybe doing something a little bit special for QuickFastEry. You just let me know if that's still doable, and then maybe walk through that and what that looks like.
Sure, yeah. So our software is pretty intuitive. Anyone that signs up, we have all these analytics for you guys. You can see the dashboard, see all your data for feedback, orders, sales, product reviews. And like I said earlier, we've have different methods on trying to get some of this data. Most software providers use the API, and the API feed might not be the most the fastest way to get some of this data. So like I mentioned earlier, we just imported the refund and return status even with the opt-outs, and now our platform can get that data as soon as you get it. So that really benefits sending out emails, especially like in the campaigns. Like you probably don't want to send out emails for people that did a refund, right? So we have these exclusions here too. Like if they left you a negative feedback, or if it's a return item refund, you want to block sending out these emails, because it's a good chance that they had a negative experience and there's no reason to even ask them for a feedback or review. So these are all things that we've pretty much integrated to make it more efficient for you guys. Yeah, I think as a high level, I pretty much talked mostly. We have a feedback manager, the seller feedback. You can come in here, see all your negative feedback, positive feedback. So for FBA orders, most sellers here understand that Amazon is responsible for the shipping and customer service. So if you get a negative feedback, all you gotta do is come in here and then click on contact Amazon support, and then they're gonna just remove this automatically. So as a private label seller, you should have 100% feedback rating all times. And a lot of people say, oh yeah, seller feedback doesn't really matter for FBA, and that is very true. But at the same time, there is a seller profile that people sometimes do click in, and you want to have a high rating there. If you have like a bunch of negative feedback just sitting around that you could have removed, and that's lowering your percentage, it does look bad for your brand as well. So this is a really easy way to manage, and of course, feedback notifications come in as soon as you get them. So we have different things you can set up here, like we send out summary emails, seller feedback, return emails, product reviews. We have a hijacker alert that's going to probably be released in a week or so. So we'll also tell you if someone comes and jumps on your listing, and then you can send them a cease and desist letter, and hopefully get rid of them, because hijackers.
You have hijacker alerts too, Henson?
Sorry, what was that?
You said you have hijacker alerts, or that's coming soon?
Oh, it's coming. Yeah, I think we'll probably release it in a week or so.
Oh, okay, really soon. Okay, we have another question from Eli here. He says, can you also track if someone clicked on the email that you sent?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So we can't do that, and the reason for that is because it's actually against the terms of service of Amazon. To track the actual link itself, what that requires us to do is we have to put a tracking link inside the Amazon link. So this link that they click on, we have to put an external link to track that. Now, inside Amazon's buyer-seller messaging system, you can't have any type of external links. It's just not allowed. We work with Amazon's product team, and they also informed us that we can't be tracking these kind of links. Unfortunately, we would love to track it, but what ends up happening most of the time is if we do put that link in there and the buyer gets this email, their systems ends up stripping out the link, or it's going to show them this message that says, oh, now you're going to be directed to an external website, right? And when this happens, it defeats the purpose of even putting in a review link, because then most of the time either they can't leave a review, or they're going to be like scared, thinking like, oh, there's something fishy about this email, and they're going to close it. So yeah, to answer your question, no, we can't track the actual review analytics, unfortunately.
Okay, well, I think that's it for questions. So if you want, Henson, just go ahead and wrap this up. If you have any type of special link that you want them to go to, so then you can know that they're Quick Fast Hurry people, or if you just want them to go to FeedbackWhiz.com, then that's fine. Just guys, FeedbackWhiz has more unique features for a platform like this than I've ever seen. I'm going to start using the returns notice right away, because it's such a pain to have all of our VAs do that for us. So that's one feature I'm really excited about. A lot of things in here are really cool, how you can manage your entire messaging platform right through here. Another thing that I like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Henson, but you can actually send out broadcast messages, just like your example of, you want to send a specific message right now today to all of your former repeat buyers. That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, you can send out messages right away. You don't have to use a campaign. So in the order manager, you can just click on any orders you want. Like let's say you want to find a specific ASIN, and you want to just blast it out for. Let me just show you real quick. Like let's say if I copy this ASIN in here, and I paste it in here, and it's going to show me all the ASINs. Like I have 30 orders in the past. Let's say I want to send out, all the ASINs for the last 90 days or whatever, right? The system's going to find it. You can select all, select many, and then you can just go here and then just do send email, and it's going to, just pick one of these templates, and, you can actually cycle through all these orders to see, what it's going to look like, and then just continue and send it out. So right away, you can send all these messages all at once. So yeah, it's all doable. Our platform has all these features. If you want to learn more about it, you can sign up at FeedbackWhiz.com. We have a promo code. You could do quick50, QICK. Let me type it out, like capital quick 50, and this will give you guys the 50% off your first month. And we have a support site called support.feedbackwiz.com. We have tons of videos, content. You can come in here, like you can learn pretty much everything about what I talked about earlier in more detail. So setting up is super simple. If you guys are using another platform, it's really easy to set up. When you set up our campaigns, it's not going to send to past orders. It's going to send out only to the new orders that come in at the same time. Of course, you can send it to past orders if you choose to, but our campaigns are really smart too. It's not going to send out duplicate emails as well, so you don't have to worry about things like that. So yeah.
That's awesome, Henson. So I'll just throw this out there, guys. We are not getting an affiliate commission for this, nothing like that. Henson and I just met, and I thought his software was really cool, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Now you can see why. He also shared a ton of good content that you can plug directly into your business. So thanks a lot, Henson. I really enjoyed all of your content, and then I'm actually gonna start using some of those features that you shared that I didn't even know that existed. So that's pretty amazing. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Seth, and thanks to everyone for being here today.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and for more information, please visit feedbackwhiz.com.